Let's see if they repetition from yesterday. Are we going to see Draven?
Well, that is the question, isn't it? Every time you face Freeze, the possibility is always there. However, Crepo, the answer will be no, because Giants have respectfully taken that off the table, along with Cassiopeia, that's targeted at Sorin. LeBlanc for Pepe, it was first picked yesterday, and Jax as well. So, will it still be playing Jax for it to have been banned in both of this week's games?
Or people just don't respect the other picks from Giants enough and they don't want to face the wildcard Jax that we could technically still be playing. For all we know, World hasn't played that champion in 4 months. Who knows?
Well, we'll find out soon enough, won't we? Let's take a look. What is up and available here? Azir available if they want to go for it.
Yeah, Azir and Gragas both first pick Warby with their counterparts being banned out, but Kalista picked up by Giants Gaming.
That's pretty early lock-in. Now, Audrey yesterday played Ashe. I'm not entirely sure I like it. Big change here.
I would love to see Azir Gragas here on the rotation of Copenhagen Wolves, because Gragas and Rek'Sai are allowed as the two aggressive junglers in the game. Rek'Sai is out, you pick Gragas. Cassiopeia and Azir and LeBlanc, really high value so far. Well, LeBlanc's out, Cassiopeia is out. Is Copenhagen Wolves going to go for this, or just going to...
Well, Evelyn's available as well if they want to. I mean, Wolves first picked Evelyn yesterday, followed it up with the Maokai Azir, but this time around it's high fives all around, Crepo, 100%. So what did Giants do in reply?
Cry, that's what they do, Trevor. Now, the reason they first picked Evelyn is I think Gragas and Rek'Sai were off the table there. And then Evelyn is valued slightly higher than Sejuani recently because the dynamic of the invisible play, the more pressure on the enemy right there. But Giants will have to reply here. And Pepe Nero will have to dig deep to find a champion. He has played a lot of Xerath in the past. Xerath actually pokes pretty well in a long-range matchup against Azir in the mid lane. However, the late game potential of Azir is so destructive because you can siege and put a tower in your back. You have a safety from flanks and it's really, really vital.
Well, we'll see what he decides to play for. Copenhagen Wolves off to a strong start in their picks and bans. Giants running through a number of options. And for Giants, you know, the analyst desk was talking about it, how they were much of the same, you know, relying on Pepe Nero to carry, and while they had one or two good flanks, they couldn't pull it off consistently. I'm seeing an eyebrow thrown up as Jarvan is locked in. Could be a flex for top. We've seen Cabashot run it a few times. Could be in the jungle for Frederick.
Yeah, very, very peculiar, this Jarvan pickup. If we go back all the way, even before the LCS started, I think the way Giants got into the LCS was by picking Jarvan and basically camping mid over and over again and trying to shut that down. Maybe that's the approach they're going for, but I think Gragas just outweighs Jarvan in every aspect of the game so far. Morgana is a flex pick, could be picked mid, but the Black Shield really isn't going to do all that much against this repetitive poke coming out of the Azir, so Giants losing the draft so far. However, they have Kalista, and Kalista has been proven to be very strong, but her counterpart Urgot is still open.
Don't really know if I think of Freeze when I think of Urgot play, but he does, and he locks it in. Going to be a slightly different style to what we have seen out of Freeze, and it is going to be with that Nautilus. It's something that I remember Kobe at MSI saying, and Jat as well, in fact. It's one of the most oppressive lanes because of the ridiculous amount of CC and tools to keep you in a damage range.
This will definitely lock in the Morganas as a support because they'll need a Black Shield to make Kalista survive somehow. Nautilus Urgot is very short range though on the bot lane, can get punished a little bit, but they're both innately very tanky. In addition, when the jungler comes in, also very tanky on Gragas, so the 3v3 will be a long bloodbath, which Copenhagen Wolves are likely to end up winning on the bot lane.
Well, it definitely plays into their favor with that large amount of shields and HP. Giants, a couple seconds left. If we're expecting Kalista Morgana, we're expecting that Jarvan to most likely go jungle, especially with the Gnar hover. What does Pepe go for? Will it be the Xerath? You mentioned it much earlier in the draft. Don't really know how I don't know how he's going to poke out all those tanks.
It's going to be rough. But the tanks are very short range, you have to remember that. You get multiple iterations before they actually reach you. We'll need to have a Righteous Glory on either Gragas or Nautilus, and we'll need very, very clutch Black Shields to stop the Nautilus ulti from knocking somebody up. Otherwise, it's going to get real ugly real quick for Giants Gaming.
Lots of executional decision-making here from Giants. The main thing is, we're not seeing a huge amount of growth or development from the Giants squad. It's the same types of champions, it's the same fallback picks. The fact Jax is still being banned out, for Giants, it's the same story that only got them into the promotion tournament in the spring splits.
Youngbuck on a non-tank with the hover on Rumble. I like it because 3 of the members from Copenhagen Wolves, being Gragas, Nautilus, and Urgot, are innately very tanky. The Rumble ultimate, the equalizer rather, will allow Copenhagen Wolves to catch up. pop your Righteous Glory, pop the Equalizer, slow the Giants gaming lineup down, hit one of them. There's only one Black Shield for 5 people. They was like, no, I want to have it. No, I want to have it. And then Copenhagen Wolves can basically storm them down and win the fight that way. And I think Copenhagen Wolves won this draft super, super hard.
We'll see whether or not they can play it out, because Young Bakon, one of those carry champions, has had very mixed results in the spring split, tending towards struggles. A lot of ability power, magic damage on the side of the Wolves as well. So I expect an early Aegis coming out of Frederick to help mitigate some of that.
Yeah, and Frederick definitely the player to watch for the Giant squad right here. He'll have to shut down some of these lanes early, get a snowball going. Likely that he's going to spend a lot of time mid. Back before Giants entered the LCS, I remember seeing a stat where in his first 7 minutes, he spent 3 of them basically camping around mid lane, trying to shut down the enemy, but it's going to be very predictable. Soren, proven to be relatively versatile, and he can play well passively. He doesn't always have to go for these aggressive plays, so if Soren survives, the other lanes should be able to win on their own merit.
Well, we'll see if they can make that one count. For Frederick, I feel about Jarvan the same way I feel about Lee Sin. That window of opportunity does have a timing element to it, especially when you consider he's against a Gragas who's just going to do great as the game continues to roll on.
Yeah, I agree with that to the sense that Jarvan is very, very telegraphed. His plays are very obvious. Combo, Cataclysm. That's all you can do. Or Cataclysm, flash out, combo maybe. But Lee Sin, a lot of versatility. A great Lee Sin player will surprise you by knowing a champion better than you know it. And you can come from the flank, ward hop, insect you, some fancy Qs. Jarvan is a lot more telegraphed, so it'll be easier to play against. But yeah, we're heading to the Rift.
We are heading to the Rift, and it is the second game here in the summer split. You guys know what to do. There are the team comps on your screens. Hop onto Twitter, hashtag GIA win or hashtag CW win. And let us know who you think is going to win.
What do you think, Trev? Who's going to take this one?
I don't know, Crepo. You've built up a lot of expectation on the Copenhagen Wolves shoulders, and I sold them short yesterday. So I'm going to put my faith in the Wolves as well, considering I got a massive pie on my face.
Some humble pie.
Delivered by an invisible Airwax Evelyn. We'll see if they can make the execution count. We did actually see Pepinero forgetting to purchase an item.
Mm-hmm. Who needs items anyways, when you're the sole one-man army from the Giants game? Copenhagen's moving in, 5-man squad. They want some wards, indicating they definitely want to get a certain lane matchup.
We'll see if they can make it work for them. We've seen a couple of teams doing this yesterday.
I don't like it.
Going for the heavy invades. We do see a counter in terms of wards. Crepo, tell me why you don't like it.
Because now Giants are placing wards. The Copenhagen Wolves have no idea where they are. They can guess that it's happening. It's a pretty standard, but at the same time, Giants has all the knowledge. They even kill one of the wards.
I like it even less now. Advantage to the Spaniards plus a Swede.
They even killed 2 ward. Production just whispers sulky in my ear. So 2 wards down. Yeah. Pepinero 2 CS.
That's why he wasn't shopping. He was trying to get that extra gold. Eking out maybe a whole lot of nonsense is what I'm currently saying. So we did see that Godfred and Adri got deep ward cleared out from Giants. If the lane swap were to happen, if any shenanigans were to take place, where would we be expecting it?
The one question mark I have is around the Gnar Rumble matchup. I haven't seen it played too much, but I imagine Gnar wins it really hard, prompting Youngbuck to want to double jungler. At the same time, Urgot, not a fan of Urgot in lane swaps, unless he gets an XP advantage and he can freeze, because then he can at least use that harass potential to poke the enemy champion out of lane if they show up. But I don't like this. Showing up to a top lane that's already pushing with Nahlas Urgot, you can't even get the tower down because you're so short-ranged. Gottfried and Audrey taking down the golems here, inefficiently, if I may add. Use your AoE, kids.
The king of level 2 power spikes.
It's PvE. You do the same thing over and over. It has to be optimized, especially at the LCS. But more on that later.
I'm sure once the team start doing some VOD review and hear Crepo calling them out, they'll review their processes.
I spent years in solo queue doing those golems over and over and over again.
Where exactly did that get you? So,
right here at the castle, next to you, Trevor.
There we go, to explain it to everybody at home. That's what I like to hear. So, Pepinero on this Xerath into Soren's Azir. You can already see quite a sizable CS advantage, actually, in favor of Peppy. That range and early levels, keeping Soren down.
Remember, there's 2 wards in there, Trev.
Two wards, okay, right. All right, well,
-2. Godfrey with the early roam, followed by a ward.
Is this going to be a thing you're reminding me of all game long now?
No, let's drop that ward now.
I'd like that. I'd appreciate that. But it is 13-8. We did see Godfred with the roam, considering he had a free lane, and Youngbuck has still yet to show his face around any CS.
And definitely, that's what you have to expect. Always ward on your weak side, and then lean towards your strong side if you're playing in the mid lane, because supports, they have the freedom to be a resource you could put anywhere around the map. 4-man, bunching up by Copenhagen Wolves. I don't think Giants is going to teleport on this tower.
Well, this reminds me of Fnatic versus Unicorns of Love yesterday, where both teams effectively gave up one half of the map. It ended up leading to Fnatic starting a tower dive several minutes later, and getting a strong advantage. Let's see how this continues to play out.
I think this is alright, because Copenhagen Wolves, as I said earlier, Urgot Nautilus can't really punish the top laner on their own under the tower, so they just remove the tower.
Well,
problem solved.
Remove the problem from the equation. Freeze, however,
Is that wave gonna
a lot
bounce?
of damage. Minions being denied. Still about 4 of those ranged creeps. The towers fall within a couple of seconds of one another.
Yeah, not a fan of the way Copenhagen Wolves left that top lane in a position. It's gonna be really awkward and give too much farm to Giants. That wave should have bounced back perfectly and denied more farm from Whirlip. He can actually pick up some farm here and get ahead of Youngbuck.
Of course, we'll have to see which of these top laners can have a bigger impact as the game goes on. Obviously, once Youngbuck gets access to the equalizer, such a game changer. Frederick, however, going low in this very early Dragon. Remember, it is 5.9. Dragon does a bit more damage at this stage in the game.
Both teams actually messed up the bounce. Look at Freeze, he's picking up more CS than he should. That wave should have bounced back towards Giant side as well, so either they had a gentleman's agreement. No more freezes, guys. Let's keep those lanes pushing, keep it interesting. Or they both screwed up.
No freezes for freeze, as it were. 25 CS to 27 of Audrey. Oh, Airwax takes the Dark Binding with him, as we do take a little bit of stats at the moment. Average dragons per game. Origin, definitely a higher number than Giants, but Giants, they struggled quite a lot in the spring split. It's difficult to get objectives when you're often behind.
I imagine that Origin logo is a Copenhagen Wolves, since Origin was not in our last split. Yeah.
You know the worst part? I looked at that and I didn't even think. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Origin.
It's Origin.
I was so concerned on saying it, and I'm just like, just say Origin.
Not Origin.
I got the feedback. I'll stick to Origin, but we're not casting Origin now. So let's get back to Copenhagen Wolves, shall we?
Yeah, 12 CS lead here in the mid lane, Azir against Azera. So Pepinera doing well. He just found himself a comfortable pick, even though LeBlanc and Cassiopeia were out. But Soren, he's doing fine. As long as he doesn't drop dead in this lane, it's good. You just want to keep up farming. Azir scales so well into the late game. Yes, there's a lot of poke coming out, but his sieging and his team fights are just so potent, and I really like to pick. I'm a big Azir fanboy.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of time to play with, considering that Nautilus, Urgot, Gragas, Rumble are all going to be marginally ahead of him. But for the CS advantage Pepinera has built up, Audrey is falling behind. That lane swap going early. Soren takes 2 shots from Pepinera's ultimate, but both low on mana. Even eats the Arcano Pulse. Frederick does have flash available. He wanted
it
to have
badly.
a piece of pigeon pie, but he decided against it.
We're looking at a dive. Teleports are up, though. They might come in here.
Well,
It'll be a party.
Fnatic made the tower dive work yesterday against Unicorns of Love. Airwax, he gets the body slam into Audrey as Audrey's hopping away. Now Airwax in trouble. First blood goes to Audrey after a Ren stacks get popped. Whirlip's teleported in, and this is so messy from the Copenhagen Wolves.
Double kill.
now in trouble. Flash is available, but where is he going to go? He's flashed over the wall. Audrey follows
That's
through.
a triple.
That's going to be a triple kill for Audrey. Freeze forced to flash away, and Whirlip trying to chase down 3 for 1 after a tower dive the Wolves initiated.
Very, very telegraphed play by the Wolves, and if you do that, you need to be working together, get a single target down immediately, and then get the hell out of there. They towered over when a level 6 Gnar, or level 5 Gnar, with Rage Bar filled up, had the ability to counter teleport. They took too much damage, and they didn't get to the priority target, Kalista. And if there's one target you really don't want to feed early, it's Audrey and Kalista.
And that was Audrey who was down in CS as well, going into that fight. 15 CS down, now 3 kills, as well as an advantage and a 600 gold lead.
And that's the problem with trying to dive somebody you have a lead on. They're very passive in nature as well, because they want to back off. He immediately picks up the BF sword on 41 CS. That's after having a Vamp Scepter. That's very... Normally you want 55 CS for that BF sword, and that usually means you can barely afford it, but he got a whole lot of gold from that triple kill. First blood and 2 more kills. Very, very impressive.
7.5 minutes with a BF sword and Vamp Scepter. We see 2 assists on Whirlip's Gnar. He was able to teleport down. And Giants have got a 2,000 gold lead before the 10-minute mark.
So let's take it back to those predictions, Trev. You went for Copenhagen Wolves, so I'll take Giant side here.
It's a bit late to jump in there. I mean, but
All right, never mind
that's fine. You're the new guy on the stage. A bit of feistiness today, Crapo. All right, let's take a look. CS continues to grow in favor of Pepinero. The lanes, honestly, they keep shuffling about because now we see Giants with their duo moving up top. They're focusing on the top outer turrets. And don't have a lot of minions to work with.
Reminiscent from yesterday where the Kalista was freezing on the bot lane. Now, Freeze is staying true to his name. He puts the freeze on bot lane, and this opens up for a cross-map objective for Giant in top lane. They're going to take down this tower and look to go aggressive.
Oh, Godfrey doesn't manage to get the knock-up. Airwax was able to body slam away. But tower number 2 in favor of Giants, and they're accelerating. They're doing to Wolves what the Wolves did yesterday.
And I want to reiterate, I really don't like freezing in the mid game because these teams have evolved. They've gotten better at recognizing where they're losing in a certain part of the map. Instead of moving there, back in the day when somebody's freezing, you would move more resources to push in that lane and reset it. No, it's way smart to just move to the other side of the map and get what they call a cross-map objective. And they take down a tower pretty much for free. And that's more gold efficient than the minions you lose in that freeze on the bot lane.
Well, it definitely worked out in favor of Giants. As we did see Copenhagen Wolves getting some vision into the Giants' half of the map. Pepinero trying to get the stun down. Now remember, Dragon number 1 went to Giants. They took quite a lot of damage for it, but that was early on in the game. And that will be spawning in a minute's time. There's vision from Wolves for the time being, but the pressure is obviously coming from Giants towards the Wolves.
Yeah, and the Wolves is allowing the pressure because if they keep that bot lane in that position, if you take a look right there, that means Freeze is not, he has no vision around himself. They can't ward deep, they can't contest the dragon area, they're pushed in mid, they're letting themselves voluntarily be pushed in the bottom lane, and soon Whirlwind will push out the top lane. Triple pressure translates really easy into dragon control.
So 40 seconds, Giants got themselves 4 members in the mid lane. No teleport from Whirlwind, keep that in mind, but Audrey's in trouble. He's out of position, he gets knocked towards the tower, and Frederick's pushed back as well. Soren manages to get some help on the board as Airwax gets the kill. Now the Flame Splitter from Youngbuck is going to get 2 kills for the Copenhagen Wolves, and Giants, they just bit off more than they can chew in that middle lane.
That was absolutely fantastic by the Copenhagen Wolves. Really good ultimate from Airwax, knocking people into the tower. Soren amplifies that by doing the same. They don't have Lee Sin, so they do their best cosplay interpretation by insecting 2 people into the tower, and eventually they pick up Audrey. Soren pays with his life, but meanwhile, on the bot lane, Freeze is still freezing. Too long, in my opinion.
Oktoberfest, Greg, it's like out of nowhere. So this is the replay about those knockouts.
Beautiful is your play. Equalizer just, doesn't do too much, slows Godfrey down, but Audrey's caught.
Audrey just way out of position. Maybe feeling more confident than he should have. Let's take a look. Giants, they do have positioning on Dragon now. This is number 2 that they've most likely going to secure.
And they were so confident because they felt they had a man-up advantage because Freeze is still stuck in that bot lane. He definitely likes his farm simulator. Level 8 on Freeze right now.
Building up quite a big bank of gold to go back and spend, and we'll see where that decides to go.
Giants had enough.
I want to keep an eye on Frederick, though, because he's picked himself up a Cinder Hulk on this job. And, you know, as far as being telegraphed, he's not had a very big impact in the early game, but he hasn't necessarily needed to.
The irony in this game is pretty big. The second this lane actually starts pushing out, Giants moves over and pushes it back in. Like, nope, I'm fine with you freezing. Go ahead, mate.
Well, on the same token, if Giants can play around the map and they know where Freeze is.
Yeah, they keep the pressure there, they rotate back to the middle, and they really want this tower. Pepinero is still on half mana, so he'll be fine. I think if this tower ever falls, then Giants can start snowballing.
Copenhagen Wolves finding themselves pushed further and further back. They have clawed back some of that gold lead.
Aerox is flanking.
But Soren's in a lot of trouble. Frederick gets knocked against the wall by the explosive cast. Black Shield is up, but it's Godfrey that caught by the dredge line. Soren is throwing in those Sand Soldiers. The Slam Dunk Cataclysm. That's going to lock Airwax in place. Audrey's trying to get away, but now he's on the front line. Freeze looking for the position reverser. He flashed over the wall. He should get Whirlip backwards. Whirlip will be going down. That's a double kill for Soren, the man who was so hurt from the CS deficit. And the Wolves are clawing back the gold they gave up.
And Giants making the same mistake they made yesterday. Very telegraphed in their plays. Copenhagen Wolves saw it coming from a mile away. Actively defended this tower. Youngbuck roamed down from the top lane the second time right now. Freeze joined from the bot lane now because they actually needed him. And they thwarted the push from Giants. And Giants cost 2 deaths right there. And all the tempo they gained is lost immediately.
So unfortunate for a team like Giants who had 3,000 gold lead at the 8-9 minute mark. Their average from the spring split was actually down 200 gold, Crapo, and their average at 20 minutes is to be down 1,700. It's just poor decision making. It's costing them the lead that they did build up. But let's also take a step back. They are even in gold. 2 dragons up at the 13-minute mark. That's pretty good. And they've got a tower advantage, but they've just got to pick their tower battles more intelligently.
They have denied the snowball on Audrey, though. He had those 3 kills picked to the BS, so it hasn't barely touched the creep in the last 3 or 5 minutes. So slowing down the game enough for Copenhagen Wolves to scale into the late game.
We did see Freeze finally backing. He picked up that Brutalizer, the Manamune, a couple of cloth armors to boot. Haunting Guys for Young Buck is broken the 13.5 minutes. Hex Drinker for Werlip. He's got a lot of gold to work with. Just really scattered itemization here.
Yeah, they got away with it. The Wolves made a very greedy play, and it worked. You know, maybe they had to take a rest to get back into the game with this very long bot lane freeze. This mid lane tower finally going down, or some wave creep from Rumble.
Well, Equalizer got a couple of the minions, but didn't clear that one out, unfortunately.
But on the bot lane at the same time, Trev, they're taking down his towers, trading turrets. They've stalled long enough. 14, 15 minutes, it's okay to start losing towers any earlier, and it opens up the map way too easily, so they started believing.
Oh, Pepinero, right of the arcane. 1, he's got 2 more shots, 2 misses, 3 flashed away. Pepinero really wanted that kill.
Put on his dancing shoes, and Pepinero might, he might pay for that with his life.
Oh, he's going to be so salty after that one because...
And rightfully so.
Threw everything at Soren. Soren gets away. Now, how much damage can Werlip get in the top lane tower? Kill averted from the Copenhagen Wolves. But look at the minimap. Werlip is hammering away on that inner turret. As Audrey, he's now going to get caught out. Body slam connects. Audrey's going to get knocked backwards, and Airwax doesn't want too many Ren stacks, but with the assistance of Freeze and Unlimited, that's going to be a dead Kalista.
And this is why I like Copenhagen Wolves' early draft so much. Gragas is tanky, Urgot is tanky, Nautilus is tanky. It's so hard for Kalista to shred through that. Definitely on her own, because she needs to proc the passive with the Morgana auto attack to get that 12% max HP down. And if that doesn't work, yeah, there's nothing you can do because you're too slow. Remember, we're on 5.9 because they got nerfed. The back hop's not so far anymore, so she has an even harder time escaping. And yeah, good roam by Copenhagen Wolves.
So, giving themselves their 7th kill of the game. Dragons spawning in a 1.5 minutes with the bottom outer turret down. Copenhagen Wolves maybe want to look to that middle lane or move to the river. They've got a good ring of vision inside of Giants Jungle. I don't know how long ago those wards were placed. I have a quick nosy. They should survive long enough to at least see this dragon popping up. Give them some information to work with.
Yeah, definitely very crucial on the next dragon. You don't want Giants to go full Khaleesi right here, Trev, with the 3 dragons. But Copenhagen Wolves, they're in control again. They lost control early, call back in. They have a really good fight comp right now. If they get the 5v5 fight, yeah, it's gonna be brutal.
Not quite Zodiac, I think it was
No,
not quite. I'm still learning my references, Crepper.
Yeah.
You gotta teach me.
It's fine. It's time to duel another time.
All right. I hope I don't fall trap to your cards. So we do see again Airwax using a defensive body slam away from Godfred's Dark Bindings. And we've seen Godfred on Thresh yesterday, Morgana today. I feel like Morgana's having a little bit more pressure with those Dark Bindings than his death sentences yesterday.
Yeah, definitely easing into the LCS right here. Building the Mikhails as well. He wants to get rid of some of the crowd control. Not exactly sure what he wants to get rid of. Can't get rid of anything Gragas, some slows from Rumble. You can't get rid of a suppression from Urgot. A snare from Nautilus is at best what you can get rid of, so I'm not sure if I like that build coming out of Godfrey here. But going back to the Dragon, Copenhagen Wolves' lineup is really good at defending areas. Giants wants to poke in, but if they want to rush in once the Dragons actually started, the use of a zero ulti, defensive Gragas ulti is really strong in terms of disengage and kiting. If you're stagnant in a siege situation, they don't have any answer to the poke from Pepineri, but they can just start the Dragon right now and keep Giants out of there.
Copenhagen Wolves got some vision control thanks to that pink ward. The Scuttle Crab was secured for them, and you can see the wards that were in Giants Jungle started to time out and fade away. All of a sudden, the Wolves have given up control of the area, and you can see Youngbuck up top pushing the wave out. Yeah,
they're giving up control of the area in return for a double side lane push. Good answer from Giants. They want to get the mid tower in return, possibly. Let's see how this plays out. Aerox is looking for a flank. They're spreading out.
Well, we do see that was actually the Fate's Call used. The Dark Binding connects. Airwax held onto his flash. Can he get away? This time he does. Soul Shackles doesn't proc, but the Dragon does. Gets a couple of auto attacks down. Here comes Frederick. He gets another knockup onto Airwax. Cataclysm locks 3 of them inside the cage as the explosive cast boots the Spanish away. We do see Giants now in retreat as Frederick's gone low. Youngbuck forced to use Equalizer defensively, and Adri is slowed down. We do see Godfred landing one more of those Dark Bindings, and nobody has died, yet everybody has gotten involved, and the Dragon is still spitting out fire on the side lane. Adri wants to channel his inner Khaleesi and secure number 3 for Giants.
Yeah, definitely Mother of Dragons here. Tactical mistake. Copenhagen Wolves should not make that mistake. You should not split up with this composition. Just start the Dragon, get Youngbuck down here. You've seen that power in numbers, strength in numbers. You don't need to start that double lane split push, especially not when your mid tower is vulnerable. Soren can't keep people out on his own. Really don't like what the Wolves did here. If this was second Dragon, maybe, worth a shot. But on third Dragon, you just want to secure it and get the hell out of there. You see how tanky Gragas was in that situation. He went down really slowly. They could have used that tankiness to their advantage to buy time and get the Dragon, and then get the hell out of there.
Well, one of the interesting stats about getting 3 Dragons in a row, Crapo. 88% win rate if you are the team that has secured the first 3. Odds currently stacked in Giants' favor. They're still even in gold. They've got a tower advantage, but the problem is they've not been able to get past that river after those 2 failed attempts earlier in the game.
Yeah, Pepe in area has a whole lot of wave clear, so Airwax is looking for a flank. He wants to knock Pepe into his team, get him down, and then get the tower down. But he gets spotted. Yeah. Frederick did his Wolves, spots Airwax.
Well, we do see that little Vision Spirit helping out. 2 wards get popped down for double the safety from Giants. And Copenhagen Wolves, now they are the ones continuing the siege. Soren is going to be late to this party. He's in the middle lane. Teleport is available for Werlib. You can see Youngbuck hanging about with the team. He does have Equalizer available.
Renner is not here, though. If they clear this wave, they're fine. This is very crucial. These 3 range creeps is all they have. The Copenhagen Wolves' lineup is so short range. Who is going to hit that tower if Soren's not there?
Well, the answer is no one.
No one.
And Copenhagen Wolves have backed away.
Side lanes too, pushing out. Copenhagen Wolves, they have tunnel vision right now. They want that tower, but they have to realize they're not going to get that. Not when Spipinera is here, unless they land a really good ultimate combo. Flash swap from Freeze, possibly. Insect from Soren. But look at those waves. They're disappearing before they even get into tower range. And now look at the bot lane. Look at the top wave. Giants not making the mistake many teams do by sending their top laner to defend this. No, they want pressure to get out of that sticky situation and reset the map.
Well, the map has been reset, and the Copenhagen Wolves are going to pick up that side lane farm. It's Freeze that yells mine, mine, and hits bottom lane. He has got that Mirror Mana completed. Continue to build up some tanky stats. Airwax, a little bit of support. Toyed with the idea.
Don't start Baron, Giants. That's really, really risky. I don't think I like that. Frederick's not tanky enough. If somebody spots this could be the opening for Copenhagen Wolves. At the same time, if nobody spots it,
well, Freeze is a mile and a half away. It's going down so low.
You can't do it.
Look at the damage. Not enough tanky stats at all.
This might cost them a tower.
Well, nobody from Wolves seems to be pushing yet. There's a lot of farm to be picked up top and bottom, and Wolves seem to be content just picking up the side lanes.
Yeah, this is fine. This gives Wolves, again, more breathing room. You can make that play if you have deep wards in the red jungle and you have absolute knowledge of what Copenhagen Wolves is doing, and you can pretty much fake it out a little bit by sending Pepinera deep into the mid lane, giving the Copenhagen Wolves the illusion that you're not doing Baron, but it was really obvious, and there wasn't enough face check threat. Normally, if your entire jungle's ward, you'll be scared of the first bush, scared of the second bush, scared of the third bush, and then you get to Baron. Copenhagen Wolves weren't scared. They could just walk in, place a ward. Oh, these guys are doing Baron? They're half HP? Well, fine. You know, they'll have to base, and we get all the pressure again. Giants lost their tempo yet again.
Well, the other thing about the Giants, unlike yesterday against Origin, where they tried the flank once, didn't work, tried the flank twice, tried it once, did work, tried it a second time, didn't work, and then ran out of steam. They don't have outer towers to push. They tried the Baron play. What's next on their list of tasks to attempt a lead?
Poke somebody out and then make a pick. We saw it earlier. Airwax overreached, got caught. Good Cataclysm followed with the Pepinera artillery from very far away, and that's what they want to do. Find one target, lock it down, and once they're outnumbering, then Audrey can start hopping around and taking down these tanks. But it's a long tour. It's going to take a while for Audrey to tear through these tanks, and
especially when you consider Freeze has just picked himself up that Frozen Heart. little bit more armor being picked up across the board. We see Young Buck's about 100 gold away from that needlessly large rod, but the moment Peppy gets back to mid lane, this minion is going to get cleared out, and that's a lot of poke onto Soren from just one Arcano Pulse.
Yeah, Pepinero definitely the super villain in this Copenhagen Wolves story. They're all itemizing armor to get rid of the rest of the threats, and then it's all on Pepinero, the one magic damage dealer on that team. Bar maybe Morgana, but she's building in
1.5.
Well, 1.1 at best.
Okay, right. So I'm glad our fractions are in sync now. Pepinero, again, charging up that Arcano Pulse. It was just enough to burn through the Shield of Freeze. We'll see whether or not he can continue landing those skill shots, because you got to admit, one or two missed skill shots and there's opportunities for Wolves to jump on Giants.
Oh yeah, all the pressure yet again on Pepinero, in a different role right now. He's not the assassin that we usually see on LeBlanc. He's basically poking over and over and over, and if he lands 4 or 5 in a row, then maybe they can find an opening to break through the Wolves' shield, but they're so damn tanky, and eventually Freeze is going to get some magic resistance, flash swap on one target, and Giants, their late game is rather poor.
Well, we'll find out if they can win it in the mid game then. Giants finally pushing past the river, but look at Airwax on the minimap. He has the flanking opportunity, he has flash available.
He's looking for Peppy.
The explosive cast, he's holding on to it for the time being. Freeze wasn't near, and Youngbuck needs to back. He's sitting on a lot of gold, 1,800 for Youngbuck in fact, and we do see the right of the Arcane just for some pressure, but honestly, not finding the targets it needed.
Copenhagen Wolves playing passive with a reason. They know Giants is running out of steam, like you said earlier. Can't really get that Baron, can't really get that tower. Zip ups it out, here they go though.
Frederick wants to find a target, and Soren's going to be able to conquer and displace those sand soldiers of his. Manages to get himself out.
Going on Peppy.
All right, Pepineri's going to flash from a dredge line. You're not going to get away from that one or the depth charge either. We do see him caught up. That's a flash forward. Airwax gets knocked up. Peppy's got the black shield, and somehow he's still alive. Finally gets burned down by the overheating Youngbuck. They've traded mid laner for top laner, but Freeze, he's found Whirlip. Meganar is charging. It's not there. It's not enough. Acid Hunter secures the second kill of the fight for the Wolves against the Giants, and Dragon has just spawned.
And you see how badly Copenhagen Wolves wants to kill Pepinero. They're glad with an opening 4v5 to just take him down, because they know once he falls, there's nothing Giants can stop them to stop from taking Dragon. Good play by Copenhagen Wolves. Risky, but worth it.
And this is the first Dragon on the board. Well, let's see if they can get it first.
Hold your horses, Fred.
For the Wolves, they are facing a 3-Dragon team Giants.
Frederick has been good at stealing dragons in the past, or barons.
Well, it's how they beat Elements, and we'll see if it's going to work. We do see Emperor's Divide splitting them up. Airwax flashes forward to the body slam. Soren throws the soldiers forward. You could call one of them Grey Worm if you like. Frederick now on the retreat. Smite is up. Those sand soldiers poking away. Airwax again chasing. He's got no mana, but Soren does. But his soldiers can't reach. Dragon goes back to the pit and is still alive. And Frederick is putting on a dance. Here comes Youngbuck. Equalizes up. The epic chase continues. Godfred delivers a black shield. And Frederick takes them on a magical journey around the map, gets out clean with the kill and stops the dragon.
Yep. Frederick with the Dance of Dragons there doesn't get the steal. Giants really want this one.
Looks like they should be able to secure dragon number 4. No, I'm getting ahead of myself again, Crepo. Equalizer comes down,
closes the door.
The exit. Whirlip is about to go Meganar. Dragon, 2,000 hit points. He is going to transform. He should be able to slam someone against the wall. It's picked up by Adri. Dragon number 4. The Khaleesi is in the house.
He was barely in range for Rend. I don't know what Copenhagen Wolves was doing. Don't hit that dragon. Just kill the guys in the pit. Force them away. Secure that dragon at all costs. Greedy, greedy play here, and so much chaos.
27 minutes, and this is the closest game that we have had out of the 7 that we have thus far played. They have been relatively one-sided yesterday. Interesting question is, when a team can get a more impressive lead, can they close the game out? Copenhagen Wolves were great at closing yesterday. Giants struggled to close the few games they had generated leads in the spring split. But they are one dragon away from just potentially winning a team fight.
As long as Pepinero has item slots left, there is still hope.
There you have it. Pepinero about to pick himself up that Void Staff. He's chunking down Unlimited, no right of the Arcane. So he can't pew 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 anymore. Do you see Adri working his way towards that last Whisper? Crepo, this tower, it might go down.
It very well might so. Finally a tower for Copenhagen Wolves.
3 towers to 3, 40k to 40k. The only thing separating these teams Wow, the
It's
only thing.
the
I make
only
it sound
thing.
small. 4 dragons?
Just 4 dragons.
Just 4 dragons. No biggie.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. Absolutely nothing's gonna happen until the next dragon. I like it.
Damn. Liar! You have been proven wrong. Godfrey gets pulled backwards. He gets pulled out. Fate's call will save his fate. And despite the attempt from Airwax, nothing further will happen. Right of the Arcane connects with 1 of 3. That is a shocking accuracy.
Still counts.
Hashtag still counts. But again, you see the power of that Callista saving Godfrey despite not having flash.
All right, serious talk. Audrey has to move down to the bot lane to deal with his wave. This opens up a little bit of opportunity. Copenhagen, they're getting strong. They can punish phase 6 harder and harder the stronger they get. So they can actually start looking at getting more Baron control, getting some more vision control. Especially now that that middle tower has fallen. It's a 2-step process. You push in the wave all the way, then you spread out, you fan out, and then you get vision behind you or at the left side or on the right side. With that middle tower still being up, Copenhagen Wolves could never get their vision deep enough to generate a pick. And this is really vital for them. Let's see if they use that to their advantage or if they're fine stalling, going for the risky 5th dragon.
Well, Dragons have not been in favor of the Wolves at all. They're now a little bit behind in gold. We're coming up to 30 minutes. Neither of these teams have made any inroads past their opponents' outer turrets in an extensive period of time. We do see Airwax pushing out the top lane. Freeze also moving up, in fact, to meet this lane. Really, it's all about this dragon.
Where is the magic resistance? Don't really understand it. Merc Threads finished on Freeze right here. If you're playing against a Giant squad that has carries that fall off over time, and they have this one guy that gets really big and pokes you over and over and over with magic damage, might be wise to build some magic resistance.
Let's see who picks it up first. On the side of the Wolves, and somewhat equally so on the side of Giants, considering they are facing a Azir, a Rumble,
And
even
Rumble.
Gragas to
Yep.
a much lesser extent. I know that Pepinero's got enough gold to finish that Void Staff, but we'll see when he decides to back and how much he decides to spend. Sitting on 1,800 gold, actually a lot of money to spend across multiple carries. You have Frederick with 1,000 gold, Freeze with 1,300 gold, so
They
some
want to
backs
find
need to get
Pepinero
picked up.
defending a tower. They want to flank him throwing into the team if they can. He's on wave clear duty right now. So you know if you build a massive wave and you put some of your members around that.
1, 2.
Did we miss the first one? I think we missed the first one.
We missed the first one.
So
Shame on
2.5,
you
3.
observers. They couldn't follow a Xerath ultimate.
Quick draw, Pepinero. So yeah, what I was saying, if a big wave stacks, you can bet your money on it that Pepinero's going to defend that. But a little bout in the jungle.
Well, not this time around. Little body slam, high 5 love tap from Airwax, and they get away.
Not too much happening.
Yeah, it's all about the dragon in 90 seconds.
Let's see, 90
Crepo.
seconds for me to be wrong.
Talk to me about vision. Talk to me about setup. You've already explained Wolves have got the potential to zone control, but they didn't do it previously. They actually gave up that area because of the side lanes.
Yeah, if they force Giants out, then you can look at a zero ulti like in a Nivea, all right? You just use it to keep them out, and then you just disperse, you disappear. Because there's so little damage coming out of Giants, except for Pepinero, which is repetitive poke. If you can keep them out, and you're fine with going for the 50-50, you can do that. Or you need to control the vision that you force a face check. But Pepinero can pretty much check every bush one by one by one by one. So vision advantage, it's not going to do much, because we know that both teams are going to show up at this dragon. It's not going to be a surprise.
With the amount of farming Pepinero actually did, he's picked himself up a death cap. I guess he didn't need the voice up because there was no MR. That's the other thing to point out.
No Righteous Glory. I would really like to see in the Righteous Glory either Nautilus or Gragas to close the gap and get to Pepinero. Really vital. And Copenhagen Wolves, as of yet, haven't picked up one.
And that goes back to your discussion in Picks and Bans, Crepo, saying how Copenhagen Wolves need a whole lot of tools to find the Giants' back line. 20 seconds. No one saw that. It's a big wall, guys.
He knew Gragas was there. It was just plain safe.
There we go. Defensive. I like this term, acting. Do you see blue buff picked up by Pepinero in the eye of the storm? That's a flash forward, but the dredge line misses. We do see the depth charge chasing through, but Black Shield is going to negate it.
No
Equalizer's been dropped as well. Copenhagen Wolves have chucked a whole lot of tools at the Giants because they want
Airwax went in the back.
Where is Airwax? The barrel's gone out. It's split Giants up. They have caught Frederick in place, but he's put the Cataclysm down. Right to the Arcane goes out. They've traded junglers 1-for-1. Soren has knocked everybody back to the Wolves, but there's just too much damage from Pepinero. He's
Freeze is
flying
alive.
through them. Freeze untouched with the triple. He's got the Quadra. He's looking for more. Can he get it out? Not going to be this time round. Will it forced a flash, and he's actually going to hop away. Freeze ends up with the triple kill at the end there. Last pop-up got me a bit more excited, but this should be the Dragon for the Copenhagen Wolves. 2 against 1. Despite missing so many ultimates, they still won the team fights.
Very telegraphed fight, right? So Copenhagen Wolves wants to catch Peppy. Giants wants to keep Peppy alive. Double teleport coming in.
1,300 hit points. Werlib is trying to get the Dragon. Can he pull off the miracle play? No, because he's been forced away. He hops over the walls, got no flash available. Ooh, that boomerang was close.
You do not want to be that guy. They let Nard boomerang steal it. But let's see what happened here. A limited, unlucky dredge line. Equalize doesn't slow Pepinero down because he had a black shield. I want to keep my eyes on Aerox in this fight because he's going to jump into the backhand. We didn't see that in the initial replay. Bind is down, so Youngbuck, he can't join. Aerox is going to go into the spit and try and find Pepinero. Let's see what happens. Pepinero with the respect flash, really solid flash. Otherwise, he would have gotten knocked into his team. But watch Soren right here.
We do see Godfred pulled out. Multiple knockups. Actually caught the wall of Cataclysm, it looks like.
So he sees where Pepinero is. He wants to wait until Pepinero joins the fight and get behind him. Dash, dash, flash, and ultimate. Really insane play from Soren. Definitely game-winning play here.
Managed to win the team fight.
And we're on Baron.
Rejoined back at Baron. Copenhagen Wolves hit a 6-minute pause button, but Pepinero has got a lot of poke from far. The Baron's gone down, but it's secured by the Copenhagen Wolves. At what cost? We do see Freeze. He's got himself another kill before the Gnar throws everybody against the wall. Eye of the Storm's coming down, and all of the poke damage from Peppy, but Adri wants to clean up. 3 members of the Copenhagen Wolves are down against 3 members of the Giants, and this has begun bloody. That is a triple kill reversed for AD carries, and an ace against the Copenhagen Wolves.
So, Trev, I'm not sure if you want to be in that Baron pit. Mega Gnar, Pepinero, he's literally shooting fish in a barrel. That's what he's doing. Yes, you got the Baron, but you're not going to make it out alive. If you do that Baron, you need an escape plan. You need to get over that wall in the back and get out of there because nice attempt, but
10 seconds.
Risky play.
10 seconds on those death timers, Crepo, before Giants are forced to back away, but they should get this inhibitor safely. Just as the Wolves get the Dragon, they get the team fight, they give it all away in the Baron.
Just watch the poke coming out from Pepinero. Really solid Zhonya's here. Dodges the Q and the R from Frederick. Really good play. Baron goes to Aerox, but they're stuck. They can't get out. Look at Whirlybee. 4-man Gnar ulti because the Zhonya's from Youngbuck denies the 5-man Gnar ulti. Yeah, basically they're lining up for Pepinero. He can just choose his targets one by one by one. Watch, somebody's gonna flash to the right here, or Aerox is gonna go over. And Pepinero, he wants all those kills. He could go for freeze here, but he doesn't care that his support is dying. No, I'm gonna take out Aerox first. I know Aldri can kite, and then I'm gonna take out freeze after and push in the base. Really solid play. But yeah, you should never get into that Baron. You should never get into a situation where you make it easy for Pepinero to aim, because he's already very good at aiming. Don't make it easier for him.
Well, made easier indeed. 14 to 16. Right, 36 minutes. 3,000 gold. Giants have the advantage. Nobody has Baron buff because all of the Wolves died after securing it. Dragon will be up in about 4 or so minutes, ballpark time. And all of a sudden, the Wolves have to redo what took them 30-something minutes to do in the first place, win a Dragon fight.
I want to see a Righteous Glory. You need to close that gap. You'll need flashes too, so what we want to watch out for is key persons to watch. Body Slam flash from Aerox, and the flash Azir Insect, whatever it's called, from Soren. They want to get to Pepinero.
We'll have to see whether or not Soren can make it happen. We do see some MR being picked up. Airwax has got himself the locket. We do see Unlimited picking up that locket as well. So at least one of the items has been secured. Crepo. The Giants are now shoving out this bottom wave, using the poke from Pepinero to get onto the inner turret. And the Wolves, they seem somewhat committed to defending it.
They don't have to wait.
It's nearly impossible when you're behind at this stage.
Really, really good poke from Pepinero, and Whirlybee keeping Soren at bay. And we said this before, Urgot doesn't have the most wave clear. Gragas' wave clear tempers falls off really hard in the late game because he builds very tanky and relies on his base values. It's getting tricky.
Very difficult position for the Copenhagen Wolves. We're going to most likely be one of the longer games you've seen in Summon. Freeze takes a big hit from that Arcano Pulse. Let's see if Soren can find an entry from the back line. Equalizer's available, Unlimited is going low. Can he get out the mine? No, he cannot because he's slam dunked down. Soren, he's going to get a massive knockback. It's followed by a massive gnar in return, and everybody's flying everywhere. Gottfried is in retreat, but Audrey's going to get himself a kill onto Soren. They've traded some carries in the mid lane. Audrey's still left untouched. Can he survive with the Blade of the Ruined King and the Bloodthirster? He's self-tank sustaining through everything. Got the Ren stacks piling up as he jumps onto Airwax. Ren is going to be enough. Now he turns his attention to Youngback. The quadra kill comes in for Audrey, and the late game Callista dances around the wolves.
You can kill Pepinero, but don't forget about Audrey. Remember that triple kill earlier in the game. He started snowballing, and he finally has 4 items, and he cleaned that fight up Steelback style. He was the janitor for Giants. Are they going to end this game?
It looks like it. There's a super minion in the base, but Audrey is tanking the Death Star laser. He manages to survive and get rid of the aggro. 15 seconds before Freeze is up. This might be the game-winning push. Giants are onto the second Nexus turret. They're onto the Nexus.
What a tongue twister.
And Audrey at 11, 3, and 8 is going to win the game for Giants.
Yes, muy bien.
Right, I'm going to stop making predictions with Copenhagen Wolves.
Yep.
What a game. What a game indeed.
Yeah, Audrey a little revitalized. Now he has got newfound confidence. Got that triple kill on the dive, survived these fights kind of pretty well. Definitely carried that last side after Pepinero got thrown into his team. I just want to commend both mid laners. I think Soren did some really solid moves here. I think Pepinero's poke was definitely what kept Giants in the game. They lost their tempo though, twice. They need to learn to keep the tempo because Giants, they can get ahead. They showed it.
They did. Just as I thought this game was going to drag out a little while longer, it doesn't. We see the Copenhagen Wolves in their customary huddle. Win or loss. A group of guys that do stick together. And, you know, I think this game really highlighted how decision-making impacts the matchup because there was not a huge amount of mechanical misplays, but rather being in the right position, picking the right fights. That's what mattered.
You can be the best mechanical player in the league. If you don't know where you're going, a smart team will outplay you. And we saw it on both sides of the coin here. Both teams kind of tunnel visioned a bit too much at some points, but did some really nice map moves on the other side. Giants played their composition rather really well, relied on Pepinero, but then everybody just forgot about Audrey and showed up in the midfield. Hey guys, I'm still alive, I have 4 items, played on King, do a lot of damage.
It's quite nice when you do have that team style where it's like Pepinero carries. If Pepinero doesn't carry, we don't win. And everyone goes, kill Pepe, kill Pepe. And Audrey's like, hey, no one's targeting me, no one's throwing anything my way.
We say how Giants almost becomes predictable in every way, everything is around Pepe. When you're playing against Giants, everybody's going to try and kill Pepe, so it's a double-edged sword, but yeah. And unfortunate, I think
the B word strikes again. After the dragon fight, Copenhagen Wolves, they stall out. They give themselves an extra 6 minutes of life. You know, 4 dragons to 1. They go, let's rush Baron. We jumped into it just as Giants were rocking up there to poke them down. And you have to question, is that the call that cost Wolves the game? Is that the call that completely gave Giants, all of the control back?
I mean, it could be the one drop that let the bucket overflow. Because mistakes were already made, but definitely going into that Baron pit without an escape plan, you need to know what you do with the Baron. You need to think 2 steps ahead. A really solid team will always think 2 steps ahead, not, okay, 1 step Baron. And then, well, then what? Are we fighting? Are we getting out? We're stuck in this pit. They have a gnar. It's going to be relatively easy to, in any of the walls around us, we can get pinned. Pepinero can literally shoot fish in a barrel. And he has an insane accuracy. I don't think we say that enough because we're watching Xerath and it's like, yeah, hit Q, hits W, hits E. But I've tried it. It's not that easy, guys.
It's also true because every time we looked at Pepinero, we were making a little bit of jokes about the ultimates, the Rites of Arcanes that we hit 1 in 3. But we didn't necessarily praise just how many Arcano Pulses he hits, how many stuns he connected with, all of the other skill shots that fall by the wayside because they're not as fancy as the ultimate.
Yeah, and the repetitive damage coming out, especially with that Ludens, definitely kept Giants in the game, kept the wave clear up. Really important. It took Wolves a really long time to get some of these objectives, some of these towers. Yes, 1, due to the nature of their composition, but 2, due to immaculate wave clear coming out of Pepe's hands with his Xerath. And he was targeted. LeBlanc was out. Cassiopeia was out for Soren. We were kind of guessing Azir was going to be picked up, and we were guessing, what was he going to pick, and Xerath worked out.
Well, I definitely did. Definitely give some interesting questions to the rest of the summer split after seeing these two teams. So for a closer look at how Giants picked up their first win in the split, we're going to hand it over to the analyst desk.
Thank you so much, Quickshot. We are joined here by Giants AD carry Audrey going Super Saiyan in more ways than just one. 11, 3, and 8 on Kalista, a 6 KDA, which is very impressive. But tell us the story of the game, because you guys had, or you at least, got a triple kill very early on, which of course sets you up. But then the Wolves managed to fight back. So how did you guys play it from that point on?
Yeah, like they did a pretty weird dive, which gave me 3 free kills, and I felt like this game is mine now. But then they started focusing me like through the entire game, and they managed to shut me down. But then like in the end game teamfight, they focused Peppy a lot. They didn't put anything on me, so I was like, what is this? This is like disrespect. And I was able to do whatever I wanted in teamfight, so I was able to get like a few kills, like triple and quarter kills or whatever.
Yeah, Quadra in the end, almost finished.
Yeah, and it's actually your first Quadra in the LCS as a whole, so congratulations on your first Quadra. And,
Thank you.
You know, hopefully the first of many if you're a Giants fan.
Yeah,
But, you know, a lot of what people have talked about is how Pepinero is such a big part of your team. I think this was maybe the first game that we're really seeing you from the AD carry role take up a lot of control and carrying of the game. One thing I want to very quickly bring up is that even with the performance you put in, Pepinero was doing a massive amount of poke damage. We brought up Odo Amne's damage earlier, 857 per minute on Na. This game, Pepinero, 1,084 damage per minute from that Xerath. But we were talking a little bit during and before the game. How has the addition of Godfred as support been for the Giants?
It's harder to communicate because of the language barrier. We have never talked in English before. Some of our English is like a little bit sloppy. We don't always find the right words and stuff. But overall, like in the bot lane, I think it has been a big improvement. I'm getting pretty well with him. I think we can, like he's the aggressive player I always wanted to play with. So.
Yeah, and your English is actually really good, as we can tell here as well. So I'm sure that will only go better. Final question for you guys. I love that when we look at the features now, it was Warloop, I believe, who now says, well, you know what, we want to make it to playoffs. I love that you guys make that adaptation, because last split it was all about, you know, we want to see what's going on. Tell me your perspective on this, knowing that the league is, well, getting even more stacked now in the summer split.
Yeah, it's way harder now in the summer split, but we got a lot better too. Like the major bad thing we had in the previous split is like we had no LCS experience, but now we have it. So I think we can even get to Worlds if like it's a lower chance, like 10% or something, but it's still there. So we have a big motivation to go on.
Well, definitely the right mindset for you guys. Congratulations and muchas gracias. Setting up on stage as we speak are Roccat and Gambit Gaming. Stay right here. We'll be right back when they look into that matchup in just 3.5.
Copenhagen Wolves taking on Giants. First blood goes to Audrey after a Ren stacks get popped. Warloop's teleported in, and this is so messy from the Copenhagen Wolves.
Double kill.
Now in trouble.
I'm here. Jarvan. Get Jarvan. Nice.
I got him.
No. Okay, I have ult now. I got him. Attack him. Get him nice.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Ulti, guys.
Soren has knocked everybody back to the Wolves, but there's just too much damage from Pepinero. He's
Freeze is
flying
alive.
through them. Freeze untouched with the triple.
Nice. Okay, I'm here now. I'm here.
You win there. Freeze. Nice.
Audrey is going to win the game for Giants.